You ever wonder how you can make a musical with no money? You're about to find out. Al Adamson is known mostly for making hodgepodgey low-budget horror movies, but his favorite genre was old Hollywood musicals. I'm Alan Vaughn. Today's feature is the time that our pal Al and producer Sam Sherman teamed up to do a big-time musical with a pawn-shop production value. I'm talking Cinderella 2000. This might be Al's weirdest movie, which is saying a lot. The 70s saw a proliferation of movies set in a dystopian future. Kind of gives you an indicator of the overall cynicism most of the country was feeling. And here's another one, set in the year 2047, an Orwellian government. Wait, is there really any other kind?
Those are very challenging observations you made, Randall.
Anyway, Big Brother has outlawed sex and uses a goon squad of annoying robots to keep tabs on everyone. Meanwhile, the lovely and charming Cindy must spend all waking hours scrubbing floors and waiting hand and foot on her perpetually horny stepmother and stepsisters.
Doing without, yes we are doing without, and it's a frustrating route without any doubt. We're deaf because we're doing without. Oh.
Wait, if you're making a musical, shouldn't the cast at least be able to sing and dance?
That's nitpicking, isn't it?
Anyway, only the government can authorize sex under certain circumstances, and in those cases, enter professional stud Tom Prince. Though like anyone else, Tom has become dissatisfied with his job, now finding constant sex without love hollow and boring.
So many of the girls I'm paired with just spread their legs, groan a couple of times, and that's it.
I get motion sickness. Didn't you read the printout?
With everything that's possibly fun or enjoyable being outlawed, Tom advises his boss, tyrannical doofus, the controller, that the people are getting restless. His solution? To throw a grand ball. It's the one dance that manages to outlay my high school prom. If you know the story of Cinderella, you know where this is going. Cindy's stepsisters are thrilled to go to the ball.
Wow, the great controller's uncontrolled masquerade ball.
Dale, it's arrived, the big time, we made it! Oh,
the uncontrolled ball, a chance to really freak out once and for all.
Yeah! What?
Isn't that a dumb name for a party?
But they're all too happy to leave Cindy stuck at home with chores. But thankfully, someone comes to her magical rescue.
Who are you?
Well, I'm your fairy godmother. Godfather. Silly.
He not only gets Cindy ready for the ball, but he gives her a musical lesson on the meaning of sex and romantic love.
Oh, it's not electronic, nor is it bionic. It's a natural gedonic. We all need love. When you're down in the dumps, when you're in a slump, just climb on a rump. We all need love. Mr. or Madame, need I expand? A mix of heart and glands. We all need love. You and me. Yes, indeed. In the morning and the eve, we all need love.
At the ball, no surprise, Cindy falls in love with the dashing prince. But when the chimes strike midnight, she's forced to flee. And it's not a glass slipper that he has to find a fit for, if you know what I mean.
Stella! Stella! The controller's sexual surrogate is on his way down our street right now! Christ, I've got a douche!
But not before we hear the lament of Roscoe the robot. Tell us about it, Roscoe.
Mechanical man is what I am. How do I get turned on? What do I do to begin, and where do I plug it in?
Never have I heard a robot so articulately express such existential angst. That's Eddie Goretti as Roscoe the Robot. In addition to donning that elementary school Halloween costume outfit to play Roscoe, he's also responsible for, or takes the blame depending on your point of view, the film's production design and choreography. And now you might want to get any children out of the room before I show this. Because this was made in the late 70s, in the middle of the song we also get an interminable disco breakdown. Wow, that was something else. How do I even begin to express how that made me feel? If any of you thought that looked familiar, David Letterman used to use that on his show as a comic insert. Searching for the next possible independent international pictures project, producer Sam Sherman noted that there was a brief window of time where theaters were looking for softcore films to play because even though hardcore had entered the scene and dealt a blow to sexploitation films, these theaters weren't permitted to play hardcore movies. Sherman said IIP was involved in all kinds of films at that point, and he was keeping an eye out for any other marketplaces they could enter. After seeing the softcore musical version of Alice in Wonderland, he got the idea to do something similar with the public domain fairy tale, opting for Cinderella. Other producers must have had the same idea because, inspired by Alice's box office success, 6 rival sexploitation versions of Cinderella were in pre-production around the same time, including the softcore musical Cinderella starring Cheryl Smith and directed by Michael Pataki. Y'all remember Michael Pataki?
Hi. I'd like to pay you a sincere compliment. You've got beautiful skin.
Don't tell me you're a dermatologist.
No, just a skin freak.
In order to distinguish their version of Cinderella from the others, Sherman proposed setting their film in the future. Futuristic sci-fi softcore films were also very popular in the mid to late 70s. With the futuristic setting established, Al decided to blend the concept for a softcore space-age Cinderella with a never-produced script for a musical he had written about a planet where all love and passion had been erased. Sherman said they were having trouble finding the right actress to play the lead, since they needed an attractive, charismatic woman who could sing and dance and would also do nudity. He called his buddy, New York City TV host Joe Franklin, to set up a casting session. Franklin instructed Sherman to show up at his office at 9 o'clock, and an actress would be in to audition every 15 minutes. It was around 11 o'clock that Catherine Erhardt walked in. Also credited as Catherine Burgess, she was born in Rye, New York, and in addition to this film, she's most remembered for starring in the artiest hardcore film ever made, Through the Looking Glass, although her hardcore scenes are performed by a double. She's really charming in the lead, and she has a quiet elegance about her. It's too bad she didn't do more movies. Sherman said she was a very nice lady, who's now a happily married mom. If you're looking for a musical with memorable songs and high production value, you may have guessed this isn't it, although I'm surprised Roscoe's Big Number didn't become a hit. Like all of Al's movies, Cinderella 2000 has an antiquated charm to it, and despite its raunchy subject matter, there's an innocence to the film. Everything is kept very lighthearted and very silly, and with the musical numbers, it almost comes off like a smutty parody of a Disney film. The sex humor is pretty cheesy. If you think superimposing cartoon music over sex scenes with pop gun sound effects at the climactic moment is hilarious, this movie's totally on your wavelength.
Tonight, Aphrodite, goddess of love, you have a chance to strike a blow for free love everywhere.
Blow?
Bad choice of words. You know what I mean.
The futuristic sets and costumes have the production value of a school play, but hey, those things kind of give the movie a shabby charm. Al had two go-to DPs in his 70s career, Gary Graver and Louis Horvath. No, I did not forget either Vilmos Zsigmond or Laszlo Kovacs, who lent some of Al's early pictures, because Al stopped using them when they started doing things like asking to be paid. But Louis Horvath photographed Cinderella 2000, and he's a perfectly competent DP, but the movies Al did with him have more of a basic meat and potato style versus the films he did with Graver. Although there's another reason for Cinderella 2000, mostly consisting of standard coverage and static master shots. Stala Hassanen, head of United Artists Theaters in New York, had advanced IIP money against Cinderella 2000's playdates. In exchange, she asked the filmmakers to use a widescreen anamorphic lens that they were trying to promote. But the problem was, it was difficult for Al to use the wide lens inside a tiny studio on a limited budget. As I said, it's all very silly, but I found its idiosyncratic goofiness really enjoyable. If you've been groaning in the scenes in this review, you should skip this one. But if you're a fan of oddball musicals like The Apple, or you're just digging the overall absurdity of it all, I think you can get into Cinderella 2000's groove. I was going to complain that at almost 2 hours, the film's too long for what it is, but there's a reason for that too. There were 3 sex scenes added at the behest of German distributor who thought the movie wasn't erotic enough, including an extended lesbian scene that has nothing to do with the movie, and another one concocted by Sam Sherman on a whim about a love-starved Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs. But hey, it gave Angelo Rosito some work.
Don't cry. Don't cry. Why are you crying? Everything will be all right.
No, it won't. Everybody is going to the ball but me. I want to be on control, too. I want to have fun.
But Snow White, it's not your movie. It's Cinderella's.
I don't care. Well, I'm just as pretty as she is.
That's Jackie Giroux as Snow White. I talked about her in my Ilsa video. Join me on Patreon and check it out. She was in the sexploitation rotation during the 70s, co-starring with Ushi in a few movies like CB Hustlers. But she's probably best known for being the first Mrs. Steve Railsback. The film also is weirdly postmodern in that it repeatedly breaks the fourth wall.
All they talk about in this movie is sex, sex, sex. What's a robot to do? Huh, Roscoe?
I thought Cinderella 2000 might be a commentary on the kinds of people who oppose sexploitation movies. I covered some of that in my Vixen video. In America, rather than being done on a state or federal level, local communities have their own blue laws or legal standards involving provocative material that can be enforced as they see fit. In some cases, filmmakers risk criminal fines or even being thrown in jail, facing off with certain community leaders who oppose these films on moral grounds.
Could it be Satan?
Filmmakers like Russ Meyer and Dave Friedman don't get enough credit for really fighting serious battles in the name of artistic freedom. Hollywood, of course, benefited greatly from that, but those assholes are never grateful for anything. Sexploitation filmmakers often accuse these community leaders of using their supposed crusade as a way to indulge in their repressed lasciviousness while masquerading under a moral banner, and that such people inevitably had major skeletons in their closets. The controller in Cinderella 2000 is appalled by sex, outlawing it supposedly to curb overpopulation, but his disgust towards sex stems from his own impotence. And pay no attention to him indulging in his own stack of confiscated smut magazines behind the curtain. The film also presents a very romantic view of sex, and probably being under the creative guise of a happily married man made a difference. Oh, Al. Sam Sherman said of Cinderella 2000, it hasn't endured quite like the genre films they made have, but he thinks the songs are cute, and Al did a good job considering all the limitations they had to deal with, so he's proud of the picture. Join me next time when we leave the dystopian future for a place that makes more sense, like 1970s Florida. My favorite film of Florida's favorite filmmaker, William Griffey. What happened when William Shatner hit a personal and professional low point?
People like you ought to be ground up and made into dog food.
The results are glorious. I'm talking about Impulse. But until then, stay sick.